Hello everyone, welcome back to another episode of Last Window, The Secret of Cape West. Thanks for tuning in. Last time we had our lovely Christmas Eve party that did not quite turn out as we expected because of freaking Tony, but we ended up having a wonderful time due to Claire's delicious food and Sidney's company and awesome, what did he pull out? I don't drink, so I never remember the names of it. Bourbon? Wine? I don't remember. Anyways, now he gave us a lovely sentimental record. We just listened to it, and now we're gonna end the day and do our chapter review, so let's do it. The morning of December 24th, I walked into town, heard the festive songs, and returned home. Then my buzzer went. I opened the door and saw someone waiting there. It was Mila. Right. I opened the door only to see Mila standing there. She told me that Ed had been admitted to the hospital, and Rachel was looking after him. After exchanging gifts with Mila, I suggested we go to the cafe. However, Mila said she'd rather take a look at something on the roof. What did Mila want to look at? The lighthouse. Right. She said she wanted to see the lighthouse on the roof up close. We headed up to the roof to do some sightseeing. It was the first time we'd chatted properly in ages. Yeah, and it ended up being a very deep and poignant conversation. After Mila went home, I met Tony in the lobby and took a small package from him. The package was addressed to Mags, and I took it to her in person. As soon as she saw it, she started shaking and asked me to open it instead. Still not getting over that. What was it that Mags thought the package might contain? Still not getting over that. Freaking sacrificial lamb? Rude? Right. She thought that the package might contain a bomb of some sort. She went on to tell me about why she thought a bomb might be inside. Apparently, she'd received a threat in the form of a letter in the past. I called Rachel once I got back to my room. Once I heard Ed's condition had improved, I relaxed a little. I took a look at the package that Mom had sent. What was it I found inside? A card, baseball, and a key. Right. There were several things in the package from Mom. A card, a baseball, and a key. The card explained that the other two items were from Dad's case. Tony invited me to Lucky's Cafe to share a few drinks with him in the evening. As it turns out, Sidney had already promised to treat Tony that evening anyway. Yeah, there's that too. Man, like, I don't know how to feel about characters/people like Tony, because it's sort of like he's supposed to kind of be the lovable perverted doof, I guess. I always feel kind of weird because he does a lot of like scummy things, like trying to, he's trying to get over his past. He learned his mistakes, trying to get over his past about like blackmailing people. So that's great. He progressed there. But like, he's kind of weird about women. He's kind of weird about like, like being flaky and being like, oh, I'm going to treat you. But then he actually wasn't. Like, there are weird habits that like, I can only forgive so much of that and give him the benefit of the doubt so much so. Like, I like the friendship that they're developing, and I think the bonds that they have over certain things is really beautiful. But yeah, I don't know. Anyways, sorry. We all ended up playing a few games of billiards. Who offered me a drink after that? Will. Right. It was none other than Will White who offered his company over drinks. I declined and instead shared some drinks and conversation with Sidney until late because he was a much better drinking partner. As the evening moves on, I listen to the record I got from Sidney. I reflect on the things that have happened over the last few days. Right after getting the notification that this place will be closed, certain facts about the building's past came to light. The fact that my dad is somehow connected to the events that happened here. I wonder what I'll feel when all the mysteries of the past are solved. I wonder what I'll find out about my dad. I don't know, buddy, but we're here to help you out. We're here to help you find out, okay? We're gonna do this together, even if some people are really stinky in your apartment and being dumb doofs or being very rude, like Will White. We're here to support you, okay? There's a lot of us here to join you on your journey, so let's do it. What's gonna happen on Christmas? We don't have any particular plans for today, I think. So I don't know. Are you out in town again? Ed. Oh, hospital. We're visiting him. Even though, like, he doesn't like having us see him in a weakened state or something. Are we seeing him when he's sleeping? He sees you when you're sleeping. He knows when you're awake. He knows when you've been bad or good, so be good for goodness sake. Oh, you better watch out. All right. There's a box. I saw a box. Thursday morning, December 25th. Waking up doesn't feel so bad this time. Even, I guess maybe you didn't drink enough to give you a hangover. I can still feel some drink from last night sloshing around in my stomach, but as I drag myself out of bed and feel a draft of cool air, I soon feel better, like I can actually face the day. I open the blinds and stare out of the window. The rain that was pouring down during the night must have stopped sometime this morning. The sunlight beyond the window is dazzling as it reflects off the leftover droplets of water. The still damp cityscape is strangely picturesque, like a scene from a film. Wow, he's so descriptive. This is painting such a detailed and beautiful image for me. I lean against the glass and take a moment to absorb what I'm seeing. Suddenly, the song that I heard last night, Promise, pops into my head for some reason. I pause. Why did it provoke such a nostalgic feeling in me when I heard it? Then, the realization hits me. Maybe your dad played it for you in like a car radio or something? I must have heard it somewhere before. That wouldn't be strange if it's an oldie, a classic, you know? People hear songs growing up. Maybe you just kind of forget them as you go, but after putting on some clothes, I slump onto the sofa. I try to unclutter my memories and recover the one that includes that song. At last, a memory from 25 years ago emerges, and I recall the streets that night. That's it! The song I heard on the radio then. It was during Christmas, right? It was Promise! Oh? I'd like to hear a bit more. It was after Dad had been murdered, and we'd moved to Manhattan. I awoke suddenly at night, only to hear the sound made by the falling rain. I left my bed and slipped behind the curtain. If I stood on the tips of my toes, I could just about see through the window. The glass was slightly foggy, so I had to use the sleeve of my pajamas to wipe it. My sleeve was wet through, but I could finally see outside. What I saw was the purple-lit glow of the Manhattan night. I'd vowed that I wouldn't ever enjoy living there. I didn't know anyone. It was too cold. But for the first time, I found something I appreciated about the place. I wanted my mom to see that view. I cautiously opened the door to the neighboring room. To my surprise, my mom was still awake and standing beside the window. Realization came to me in an instant. Mom had been staring at the same view as I had. I remembered telling her that I thought it looked beautiful. Mom came over, wrapped her arms around me, and just stood there, beside me. There was a faint sound coming from the small radio Mom kept beside the bed. While holding me, my mom told me something. She said that my dad loved this song. As I looked up, my eyes met those of my mom. Then, for the first time since we arrived in that town, Mom looked different. Her eyes were brimming with tears. So that was how I knew that song. It was the song playing on the radio in our apartment. Wow. That was so beautiful. That was so beautiful. I really love how they write these characters and their stories and feelings and reminiscences, whatever word that is, musings. Wow, like it just really hits, you know? It's like, even if you haven't been in that exact situation, you can relate to the aspect of like, feeling out of place. I'm sure everybody's felt like that in some manner or another. It might not have been the exact same situation as him, but we've all probably felt lost, out of place, kind of alienated in some situation, and this was sort of a way for both of them simultaneously to like anchor themselves and find reassurance and solace, and that's beautiful. I'm so touched. I was feeling every emotion as I was softly reading that narration rather. Oh, y'all, this game is so good. It's really good, and thus that must signify the title of the game, Last Window. Window hadn't been like a big big symbol yet that I had personally noticed. I'm sure it's been a motif throughout, but like it didn't really strike me as anything because they didn't really put emphasis on it. But there we go, the view from the window, you know, beautiful. Anyways, thank you for hearing me out as I ramble about the loveliness of this game. I guess I'm just going to approach here. Yeah, usually that triggers something. What's up? Is it Rachel?
It's my phone.
Stretchy arms, activate! I love not having to walk there. Ugh, who needs walking? Hello?
Mom.
Oh, okay. What's up, Mom? I was just thinking about you. I was just having some really, really nostalgic and melancholy memories about you. I see you're at home.
Yeah, no change there. What's on your mind?
Nothing really. It's just kind of interesting because at the start of the game, they made it sound like we haven't talked to her in like months, years, or something like that. And suddenly we're talking to each other very frequently. And again, she's experiencing a lot of emotional changes as well. A lot of it probably having to do with, reminiscing the fact that we're, our dad's age when he passed away. So she's having a lot of like thoughts and feelings in this particular year. So it's just interesting how much she's suddenly contacting us compared to what they implied.
Nothing really. I just thought you'd be out.
So wait, you thought I'd be out, so you called?
Sorry to disappoint.
Don't take everything as a joke, Kyle.
I just felt like I should call you, that's all. I didn't really have anything to say, though.
And that's fine. Sometimes you just want to talk to somebody without any particular reason.
Mom. You're worrying me, Mom. Why call if you thought I was going to be out?
Yeah, that's kind of strange.
That's what I wanted to say to her, but decided to keep it to myself instead. I got your package, by the way. That baseball. It was the one Dad brought me all those years ago, wasn't it?
So you remembered?
Vaguely. I remember Dad and I used to play catch with it. That ball was very precious to your father. I think the reason was that you told him you wanted to be a baseball player.
Aww.
I remember saying something like that when I was a kid.
In the first game, I believe we came across the fact that we used to collect baseball cards. It's been a long time since I played Hotel Dusk, but I think that was something that we had talked about.
Your father kept that ball so that each time he looked at it, he could see your smiling face telling him you wanted to be a pro one day.
Aww.
Kids say the craziest, kids say the darndest things. I don't remember that key, though. Was that the key Dad used for the car? No, it wasn't. Then what is it? When the case came back from the police, it was inside. It was there together with the baseball. I haven't got a clue what it's for, but I have a feeling it represents something that he wanted you to have.
Okay.
Mom, there's something I've been meaning to ask for a while now, and I think now's the time.
What is it? What do you want to ask me?
Why did you ever get with a guy like Dad?
What?
He was in a less than respectable career, so why did you agree to marry him?
Well,
I fell in love. That's why. I fell in love with him and never wanted to be apart. The first time I met him was at the hospital where I worked. I was the one in charge of tending to the wounds he came in with. So it was a classic case of patient and nurse falling in love.
Yes, I suppose it was.
When I met him, he was a total stranger, but I did know one thing. I knew that he was bearing a secret of some kind and that, if it ever came out, I wouldn't be able to stay with him. That's why I was prepared to be content without knowing.
When did you find out what his secret was?
About 2 years after you'd been born. He came clean about precisely what he did for a living.
You mean he told you about the safe cracking?
Yes.
But once you knew, didn't you try and stop him?
Kyle.
Maybe if you had, you wouldn't have had to live off the money he earned by ripping people off. And he wouldn't have wound up dead 7 years later. It's not like that, Kyle. And what is it like? After you were born, your father, he wanted to make a clean break and give up that line of work. But his associates weren't happy with his decision. And so he just kept on cracking safes! How can you just forgive him like that?
Kyle. After hearing me shout down the phone at her, Mom drifts into a strange silence. Maybe it's because this was the first time we've ever discussed Dad so openly.
I'm starting to regret bringing this subject up in the first place.
Let's stop talking about this.
Yeah, maybe you're right.
Kyle, when you're ready to forgive your father and me, perhaps then we can continue this conversation. Merry Christmas, Kyle.
Mom. Dang, dude. Dang, dude. It's crazy to see Kyle become so emotional and like trying to reconcile with his like deep dark feelings, you know? I'm glad that he's trying to approach it though. As rough as it's going to start out, they're going to have to work it out so they can, you know, truly be open and be a family with each other. My buzzer suddenly sounds. Who's there? With such perfect dramatic timing. Exactly as I ended my very heated conversation. If it's Tony, get out. If it's Tony, Tony, I'm punching you in the face. Get out. I don't even want to see you. I don't want to see you for the rest of my life. Out. It's you.
Merry Christmas, Hyde. The hell do you want this early in the morning? Back to your normal cold self, I see. I mean, Tony, that's funny. Tony, I'm gonna toss you out the window.
You have to forgive me, but wasn't it you who dumped your friend on Christmas Eve just to go paint the town red with Betty?
I'm not denying it, but have a heart, man. What would you have done? Invited Betty to hang out with us, you dope? Anyway, how was the rest of the night down there?
Just me and Sidney drinking till after the place closed.
Cool. He's tough to drink under the table, that one. Can't remember a single time I didn't pass out while he's still solid as a rock.
So how was your night?
Mine?
How'd it go with Betty? That's what you've come here to tell me about anyways, right?
You really can't see right through me, man. Not only did he ditch us, but he's here to gloat about it. I swear to God, I'm gonna rip that beard right off your face, buddy.
So, what happened?
Well, we headed to the same place I took you to a couple of nights ago. Spent half the night chatting and getting out of control.
Sounds like it went pretty well.
Yeah, I thought so too, but now I'm not so sure.
What do you mean?
I'd actually kind of given up on Betty. But then she went and said some pretty confusing things. Is she rebounding really hard? I don't know. The situation with these two is really messy. I don't know how to feel about it. Then she told me to give something to you. Something pretty weird. Huh? Okay, lay it on me. What's going on with you two? I don't know if I want to be involved anymore, to be honest. You know, they're very realistic. People are complicated. People have many sides to them. So, you know, I feel like they do feel quite like they could be real people. But not real people that I'd want to hang out with.
What did Betty say?
Well, she was a little drunk and slurring her words a bit, but she was going on about how there are two guys she likes, one who sets sparks flying and what she cares about in a different way. So Rex and Tony... Cryptic. Her words, not mine. I just sat there nearly falling off my stool. But the next thing she said sure threw me a hell of a curveball. Tony, she said, what do you do when there's someone that you really care about, who's close to you? You know, someone you've been friends with for a while? How do you tell them how much you care about them without freaking them out?
Did she say anything else?
Yeah, she said, the other guy's history now, and I want to take it further with that friend, but...
So what had you so confused?
That's the thing. The way she looked at me when she said it, I started thinking that maybe that friend is me.
But you didn't actually ask her, right?
I like that we're like talking with him about like romantic relationships. This is so strange. Like Kyle talks to many people about many of their different troubles and worries, and he's pretty open about it. He's pretty encouraging and honest when the time calls for it, but it just feels so weird. It feels so superficial for him to be talking about. I don't know. Anyways, nah, I kind of chickened out. Pathetic, isn't it?
Maybe you're wrong, maybe you're right, but for now, you should stick to the belief that she was talking about you, and try to become that person to her. Only one way to be sure, right?
I guess so. You know what? Maybe it is me.
Who knows?
I mean, look at you. You can't get her out of your head. Ain't that the truth? I don't know. I don't want to talk to you anymore, Tony.
What did she ask you to look after?
This. It's some sort of notebook. A notebook? She said it belongs to Rex, but he left it behind. Huh. Okay.
I take Rex's notebook. How did he manage to leave this behind? Isn't this like really freaking important? He's probably got dirt on all kinds of people in there. She said something about you being able to find some use for it. Can't say I understood what she was getting at though. Well, thanks I guess. I guess that's it. Right, I'm gonna go back to my room. Bye, Tony. I'm just going to leave those two to their devices. I don't know how to feel about all of this. Oh my god. Tony leaves my room. So complicated. What's Rex keeping written down in his notebook? I think it's time I found out. Let's see what juicy details are in here. Unless it's some kind of decoy. Oh, but let's check out what juicy details are in there in the next episode. Messy, messy. Life's complicated. People are complicated and nuanced. Romance is extremely complicated. I get it. I understand, but I don't know. I feel so detached from the situation and I'm seeing it from such an outside perspective that I just can't help but be so, like, objective and be like, why? You two are being dumb. But you know, when you're in love, when you like somebody, logic really does get thrown out the window. It's hard. And when you're outside of that and you're looking in, you're like, that's dumb. But like when you're in there, I understand. I totally get it. I don't know. Oh my goodness. Anyways, join me next time to see what's in Rex's notebook. This is Axis, over and out.